We back, baby! Welcome to Survival Island 400 days. Now, let me start by saying 300 days blew me away. Thank you for the support of that episode. I just realized I should get my armor. Now, I do have quite a few plans that I want to do in this particular video. Some big projects that include... You know what? I'll let somebody special. I'll let somebody special take over that when the time comes. However, there's one thing I want to quickly mention to you. First of all, thank you for watching. That's really cool of you. And second of all, if you missed the ending to 300 days, so the last video I did in this world, where I did all of this, there's a lot of stuff here. You could pause, you could have a look. There's a lot of stuff here. I said that if the series keeps continuing, I would go up to 500 days. So I'd do this video, and then I'd do 500 days. That's the plan. However, after 500 days, I said I'd do 1,000, which means 500 days in one video. Crazy, I know. However, for that to happen, I need to know that the series is supported. I need to know that I'm not wasting my time doing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if the video gets to 100,000 views or gets 5k likes, I will instantly start working on 500 days. So, you know, you want 500 days? Like the video, tell your friends, share your buddies. That's the way to do it. Enough dilly-dallying. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to a very special friend who's going to explain the 3 main goals I have for this 100 days. Take it away, Dr. Havenhand. Guys, I'd like to personally thank you for keeping this series alive. Like, seriously, without it, I wouldn't have a job. I have kids. I have a cat. I mean, how am I going to give my cat a dindies if I don't have any money from this job? Anyway, so what are these great plans that my better-looking, less intelligent half is talking about? Well, at the start of the 300 days, I made myself 3 big plans. The first one, which is the smallest plan of the bunch, is to make the Nether portal look a bit better. At the moment, it just looks like, well, this. There's not really much to it, so it really needs an improvement to make the island look better. The other 2 plans somewhat come hand in hand, but they are both separate and massive tasks. For those who remember the last video, I quickly covered all of the new features that were added to 1.20, like the sniffer, suspicious sand, and blossom trees, but I did miss something that at the time I thought was kind of irrelevant. There is a new mob head you can get, the Piglet mob head. I didn't really think about this much, but it did now give me an idea. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to click all mob skulls in Minecraft and make a monument similar to how I made for the netherite armor? So that was the ultimate big goal here. Unfortunately for me, that does require me to do something even bigger, because I need a trident. For the few people that don't know, the only way to get a mob head is to use a supercharged creeper to kill that selected mob, and the only way to get a supercharged creeper is to zap it with lightning. Now, I could use copper rods and light the creepers that way, but that just kind of be boring. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to make a Trident Farm, something that I've never done before. Admittedly, it's only for 1 trident, but maybe I'll find some other uses in the future, and it's probably the easiest way for me to get a trident. Now, so many of you in the comments was like, the reason the spawner is not working is because it's on half slabs. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. So let me quickly work my way up. First of all, there you go. Actually, wasn't that Of course, zombie villager. Of course there is. How much hassle was that? Well, first of all, there you go. Stuff is actually spawning. There you go. Stuff is spawning. Now, unfortunately, there's not much, as you can see. And it is still dropping down there. Now, this should work. And it doesn't matter if it's on half slabs, because there's 2 different kinds of half slab. As you can see, this half slab it looks normal. It's on the normal thing. However, if you have a half slab like this, where it's half a block, in that case, it won't spawn. So these will spawn perfectly fine. However, the reason this is not working is because everywhere below me right now there will be caves, and the only way for me to get this mob spawner fully working is to fully light up every single cave below me, and unfortunately that's not going to happen. And though I do appreciate all your input on why this isn't working, it's not working because there's too many areas for the mobs to spawn below me. That's the reason why this is not working. And so it was on day 302 that I got to work. This Trident Farm was actually massive following the tutorial that I found on YouTube, and I started the day by collecting every box that I could. I got everything I needed except the building blocks. Now, I'm not joking when I say this. This farm requires 5,910 building blocks to complete, or 93 stacks of building blocks. That's also ignoring the extra 6 stacks of slabs that I need to complete it. So I'm going to need a lot of building blocks. Now, the most blocks I had at the time when I started this was actually deep slate with 11 stacks, which means if I go for deep slate, I need 82 more stacks to complete it. Yeah, I know. And there was really no time like the present, and so I went down under and started digging. I did do a little clever, and I decided to dig around diamond layer, because you know, diamonds are always useful. You never know if you can get some. On day 303, and about 20 minutes later, I had got myself 18 stacks of deep slate. So if I've done my maths correctly, everything in my inventory right now is the equivalent of 43 stacks of deep slate. And just a reminder that I need 93. I already have 11 back home, so that is 55, which means I need to do all of this again just to get enough deep slate to make this farm. If it doesn't work, I'm going to stop and I need you. I'm gonna stop the series forever, and that'll be that. And just to show you, on day 304, it was enough to fill a double chest. Anyway, it was back to digging. And let me show you, on day 305, there is 38 more stacks, giving me a grand total of 93 stacks of deep slate. I had completed the deep slate mining, though I still needed 6 stacks of slabs. Admittedly, though, this was much easier because I decided to just get normal cobblestone for that one. And the best part about it, because I was much higher up and I was close to the beacon, I was able to get the haste, which made this super simple. Day 306, I moved all of my equipment over to the location where I'm gonna put the Trident Farm, and it was time to get to work. You know, this was a very big build, so I'm just gonna quickly go over the highlights of everything that was needed. Firstly, I used all of this scaffolding to get myself to Y200, and then I had to get 22 more blocks into the sky. I think already on day 307, you can probably tell how big this is gonna be, and it is definitely going to take some time. I was able to get the floors in, and I started working on some of the walls. Day 308 and the sign placing was awful. There was no cheap way to speed up this process rather than just doing it, and this area is quite big, so this also took quite a minute. It's gonna be funny when I complete all of this, by the way, and it doesn't work. I mean, is that a spoiler? Is that foreshadowing? Because you have to wait and see. I had to complete it by day 309. Let's see what's up next. Gotta raise all of this by 69 blocks. Are you kidding me? At least I can get a good view of the world up here. Why is the fog in a circle? Now, when I tell you there is no quick way for me to do this, there is no quick way for me to do this. So, anybody mind if I just do a little bit of this and that? Okay, 45 minutes later, it's day 313, and we are done. Now, 2 last things to do. Firstly, we need to get a temporary floor in, and amount of blocks, of course I am. Had it completed on day 314, and the water was down. Next job is to remove the floor, and just like that, we're done. At least once I get the roof in. Now, I did actually place the shulkers at the bottom of this farm, so I was planning to go down and get them. However, the drown spawning had already begun, so I wasn't actually able to get them from this way. Not gonna lie though, pretty happy about the fact it was already working. It wasn't too hard to get the shulkers out on day 315. It was, in fact, very simple to do. And now it's time to begin the murder process. Now, I do only have looting 2, so this may take a minute. Are you serious right now? Really? Okay. Alright then. I decided that this wasn't enough though. I mean, I made this, I'm able to get something out of it, so I tried to get myself a couple of levels. I went to go and get myself a mending book and then put it on the trident, and then started getting levels, firstly trying to fix my pickaxe. And then it was on the trident. It's not as good as an Enderman farm, but you know what, it does the job. And on day 316, just like that, it was full. I'm gonna be honest, there's a very high chance I'll never use this again, but to be fair, if I ever need levels, it is right there. But there is a better way for me to get levels, and that is straight into the nether. So I'm gonna go and mine some quartz. Day 317, I was quite close to my goal of level 30. The simple reason was I wanted to get channeling on my trident. That would give me the enchant that would allow me to zap a creeper with lightning. And so I was pretty happy to get to level 30 on this day. However, I decided let's keep going just to be safe, because, you know, if I don't get it the first time, then, well, at least I've got the extra levels to do so. By the end of day 318, I had got myself 35 levels, and then I decided to call it quits. I got back before the night and quickly stored my things away because it was time to enchant. Day 319, and here we go. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Alright, take 2, here we go. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, take 3, this is the one. Really? And we're out of levels. Okay, back to the nether. I'm just gonna skip to day 322 because I'm not gonna make you watch that again. Basically, I got myself back up to 36 levels. Anyway, let's try it again. You are taking the absolute... Do I really need to explain what happens next? I don't think so. This is a joke! This is a joke! I don't believe this is happening! That's enchant 9! What? Did they remove channeling? We got back on the night of day 329. Now surely, this can't happen again. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, I actually paused at this point. I actually spent a good 5 minutes on the internet just to make sure that channeling wasn't removed from 1.20. It wasn't. I just got extremely unlucky. Day 331, I just want to make it clear that I'm not trying to skip days, but there's nothing I can do unless you want me to go, then I went to the nether. And then I mined quartz, so please forgive me on that one. There was a little bit of luck on day 332. Because I got so much lapis in the first 100 days, I've just been leaving lapis around, so this really wasn't too hard to get. Plus, with the fortune, I very quickly got myself some lapis. Alright then, here we go again. Oh my god. Oh, thank you, Lord. Jesus, I am Done with Minecraft for a while. Do you want to know the funny thing about this? I went into the Nether originally on day 316. It is now day 332, so it took 16 days to get channeling. I started trying to get the Trident on day 2, built all of that up there, and got the Trident on day 15, which means it took me 13 days to get the Trident and 16 days to get channeling. I can't make it up if I wanted to. Now the question is, how long is it going to take until it starts thundering? Oh boy. At least now I can have a nice relaxing time building a better portal. I did have an idea to make it look like a nether cave is the best way I can describe it. It was a lot of testing and, you know, I'm messing around a little bit. And whilst I was finishing, it started raining. Or was it? Oh my god. And it was on like Donkey Kong. Let's go get some skulls. At first, I very quickly got myself the creeper skull. After that, it wasn't too hard to get the zombie skull. The skeleton admittedly was a little bit of a pain, but we got there in the end. Now, I did actually pause my game here because the next one is going to be the big one. Take it away, Doctor. Now, going into this challenge, I already had a wither skull and a dragon head skull. And because of the trident explosions, let's call it, I had now got myself a creeper, zombie, and skeleton skull. Which means there is only one skull left in the game, which is the Piglet Skull. And when I tell you this is the most difficult skull to get, this is the most difficult skull to get. So there are two pretty simple options. The first option is to take a creeper into the nether. Now, unfortunately, creepers don't spawn in the nether, and neither do thunderstorms. So my only option would be to get a supercharged creeper, put him into the nether, and then blow up a piglin in the nether. The problem with that is the moment I put him into the portal, obviously I would have to go through the portal, and it would be very close to each other the moment I come through the portal, and there's a very high chance he could explode and kill me. Option 2 is to bring a piglin to the overworld and get him to explode by the supercharged creeper. However, this is also a problem because once a piglin enters the overworld, after a very quick period, they actually turn themselves back into pigmen. Both options kind of suck, but I decided that the easier option would be to get the creeper into the nether because then I'm not on a time limit as long as I can avoid the initial explosion. Alright, let's get you into the nether. Well, that failed. Alright then, take 2. Nice. And now for the fun part. I'm not gonna lie, my plan was to just go through the portal and sprint away as quick as possible, hoping the creeper doesn't explode along the way. Incredibly, it actually worked. Alright then, with a piglin nearby, let's do this. And, well, it was quite simple. First try, let's go. I returned home and it was day 333. The thunderstorm literally ended as soon as I was done, which was kind of poetic. If that's the right word. The piglin head looks kind of funny, but they are all here. A job well done. Now we just gotta build a bunch of stuff. First though, I do need to fix my island a little bit. There may have been a failed creeper explosion here or there, so I'm just taking a second to make sure that that's all fixed. And then it was to fix the portal that I kind of destroyed. Design 1 wasn't really a big fan of, and design 2 was... it was okay, got the point across. Just want to point something out on day 334. You see the grass block on top of the tree? I think that's just a glitch. Grass blocks or dirt blocks can spawn on top of cherry trees? I don't know. Don't know how we got up there. Anyway, for an idea that I wanted to do to make the skull monument, I wanted to get myself some spruce wood. So most of the day was pretty much me just cutting down the spruce trees and then waiting for more to grow. And I did have myself a stack of logs by day 335. I also grabbed myself a little bit of wool. Brown wool was tradable, which was perfect because that was the kind of wool that I was looking for, and I got myself to work. Now, what is the build that I'm thinking of doing here? It's really simple, actually. I can get every skull in the game except a player skull. That's not possible without using commands or creative mode, but that doesn't mean I can't make one. Now, does this skull look terrible? Yes, it does, but considering the blocks that I have options for, you could definitely tell it's at least supposed to be Steve, just a very dodgy looking Steve. I don't know. It is going to require me to get a bunch more brown wool and a little bit more spruce wood to finish it off. Luckily, on day 336, the brown wool was still easy. I still had plenty of emeralds left over, and the spruce trees were growing, so again, that wasn't an issue either. And, well, there you go. I'm not sure if we could call it Steve. Maybe his cousin. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe like it's Charles or something. I don't know. Now, on day 337, my fiance actually gave me a really good idea. You can create a sort of head display for them by putting the heads inside glasses using a couple of pistons and such. I did find the tutorial on how to make this online, but unfortunately for me, it doesn't work because it requires snow layers, and unfortunately, well, I don't think I need to explain why that's not possible. So I did the next best thing. I picked a block that best represents each mob, and I put it in there as like the base of the skull, and I must say, all the skulls are in now, pretty happy with this. I did a little bit of tweaking on day 338 on the inside to make it look a little less bland. It wasn't amazing, but I could happily say that I'm done with this build. I mean, I got all the skulls in hardcore Minecraft. I'm sure there's a hardcore episode out there that is similar to this, and well, I'm pretty happy with it, to say the least. And just like that, the two big tasks that went hand in hand together were done. There is now one other task that I decided to do at this point. Basically, the villager hut that I had, I wanted to make a second hut that allowed librarians to trading as sort of a trader hall. At least that was a future plan. I wasn't interested in doing it right now. For now, let's just take a food break. I gotta admit, there's something really relaxing about placing crops even 300 days in. I did do a couple more trades on day 339. My main goal was just get a couple of spare mending books. These diamond tools are pretty good, so I wanted to do my best to improve them. And after adding mending, I thought that if I could do to the drown spawner, I could maybe get them a couple levels up and get them improved. But after standing there for a solid 5 minutes, I realized that this wasn't the play. And so it was on day 340 that I returned to the Nether. Got all the levels and all that schnitzel, you know how it is. And by the end of the day, they all had full durability, which was pretty good. I did quickly return home on day 341, only for a food break before it was back to the Nether. This time, I was going for netherite. Now, usually when I mine netherite, I only get enough for all of my armor, my sword, and my pickaxe, but I thought it'd be cool for me to get a couple extra pieces for my extra tools, and so I was looking for 11 pieces of netherite. I already had one spare over, and 11 would get me to 12. And it was pretty quick, all things considered. Day 344, and I got myself 11 pieces of ancient debris. Day 345, and all this netherite gone to waste. Really should have done something with it. Now, some of you are probably wondering, now obviously I've got the shovel and the axe, so that's obviously 2 pieces of netherite, but what's the third piece for? Well, that's really simple. Add one super good enchant later with a little bit of mending, and this may be the best hoe I've ever had. In fact, this may be the best set of tools and armor that I've ever had, if you well, I mean, the sword's not that great, but we can work on that a little later. Day 346, and for a while now, I've wanted to make a couple of changes to the island to make it look better. A couple of the builds are just kind of bland, and there's some other stuff that I want to change, so I decided to work on that at this point. Let's start with the bamboo farm. I added myself a little bit of a roof, made a couple of adjustments to the walls, and as I say, I think it already looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. And then on day 347, I decided to do the biggest change to the wall. Now, as you all know, I've been using deep slate cobble as like a pathway between all of the locations on the island. And I decided that I really didn't like the deep slate. So what I decided to do was I decided to use oak logs on the stripped basis to replace them and make the island look a bit better. But it does require me to remove all the deep slate, so I'm going to do that quickly. I had to spend all of 348 doing this as well. It was pretty much a day of me placing and stripping all of the oak logs. It took me a bit longer than expected, admittedly, but I have to say, I think it looks much better than the deep slate cobble. I like it at least, and that's the most important thing, what I think. And then on 349, I decided it's time to work on the bamboo house. I've been saying this for a while that I wanted to make the top side of it similar to the bottom side, and so I raised the bamboo pillars up, fixed the roof a little bit, which was pretty simple, and yeah, I think it was a definite worthwhile upgrade. It looks so much better than it originally did. After that, on day 350, I spent a little bit of time looking around the island to see if there's anything else I wanted to upgrade, and to be honest with you, there was not really anything extra that I wanted to do. All the buildings at that point, in my opinion, was at an acceptable level. Now, let me stop you from commenting. In my opinion, they're at an acceptable level. I'm not a pro builder, we already know this, but you know, in my opinion, every building on the island is a-okay. I did, however, want to do one more thing on day 351. So the first thing I did was I went to go and trade as much wool as I could. On day 352, I collected all the wool, grabbed a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and here it is on day 355. What did I build, did you ask? I guess you'll have to Guess you have to wait and see. Guess you have to watch the entire video to find out. Isn't this a tricky moment for you? You have to watch the entire video. Oh lord, isn't that unfortunate? Alright, let's move on. Now, one thing I did take note of whilst I was looking around was my limited, called 33 limited amount of diamonds. And for future plans, whether it's in this video or potentially a future video, I'm gonna need a lot of diamonds to work. And so I went back underground to go and mine myself some diamonds. When I started on day 356, my plan was really simple. I'm just gonna strip mine. I was aiming for about a stack stack of diamonds, and I started pretty well, getting 16 on my first day of Gaven. And then on day 357, I got myself 2 more veins. And thanks to the fortune free, I had now up to 40 diamonds. Now, I didn't actually find any more diamonds on day 358, but I do have a question for you, the viewer. What is your opinion on me covering days like this? Nothing happened, I just strip mine the entire time, but is this a day that I should quickly cover and then move on, or should I just skip days like this? You know, I mean, both are good options for me. I've done a bit of both in recent times, so let me know what you think down below. Should I skip days where nothing happens, or should I try and include them just a little bit, even if I'm just saying, hey, nothing happened? Anyway, moving on. Got a new vein of diamonds on day 359. I had now 51 diamonds, and it was about day 360, I believe. I don't know, I didn't check my F3 at this point, where I got my final vein, and it was a giant vein as well. I believe it was about 12 diamonds in total, which got me to 79 diamonds. I was pretty happy with that. Let's head home. What I can tell you is by day 361, I was home and settled in, and would you look at all those diamonds, pretty damn good. I also noticed a hole in the villager house, which I have no idea how that got there. It wasn't an issue to fix, just it was a bit weird. And then I saw myself a llama. 2 llamas? Oh, there's a trader over here, cool. And hey, he has some cactus, which, you know, that's pretty cool as well. My thank you for this great trade this day is a little bit of murder. Don't worry, I took the llamas out as well. Now, I did try to set up a very basic auto cactus farm. I just don't know if it's gonna work, so I decided to watch it. I just spent a couple of minutes just watching it to see if it would work, and it looks like the moment the cactus grew, it would instantly break. Now, I wasn't sure if this was correct, so I quickly watched a tutorial online, and it looks like it's the same way. The only difference is that they don't use blocks, they use fences instead, and so I decided to change it so it's just a fence there. This is about as basic as you'll see when it comes to cactus farms, but I mean, what do I need cactus for, let's be honest. Day 363, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been putting it off for a while. I think it's finally time that I build that villager book trading hall. I decided to use acacia wood again, since that was what I used for the original villager house, and there was a zombie inside of the trees, which I thought was kind of funny. Anyway, 1 deforestation later, and we can begin. To be 100% honest with you, I had no idea what I was doing in here. I was just gonna wing the build, but if I've winged it before, then I can wing it again. If I've winged it before? Winged a word? I had good progress done on day 364. The idea was to have a little department, so we shall call them, and that the villagers can live in, and obviously I can trade them whenever I do that. I'm going to need a couple of beds though, quite a few actually, so there's nothing a little trading can fix with that one, I will say. And with the beds in on day 365, lecterns were completed. I did only need a little bit of wood to finish the walls and roof, and we will be good to go. I had the walls complete on day 366, putting a little bit of glass so it's not just a dark tomb for the boys. Also, some separators were put in so the villagers weren't all clumped together, all in their own separate departments. And next to the roof, it was simple design to copy the other one. Pretty much just put some slabs in here and some logs in here. Very simple roof design, but I quite like it. And it was day 367 where I completed the roof. And he started thundering like straight in the day, so I was able to sleep and skip to the next day, which was kind of cool. Day 368, I decided to add a couple of final touches on the inside, and we are good to go. Now for what will be the worst part of this 100-day adventure. Getting the villagers in the departments was a massive hassle. Here's me showing you one of them. By getting a minecart and getting them in there, me trying to get that. Oh, this is 4 times speed. This was the worst, and I have to do this 19 more times. And well, this was another portion of my life that I didn't want to do, but I guess I have to. I am not even going to tell you the hassle that it was to get this done. Day 375, between breeding the villagers that I've needed to breed and moving them around, we have now got them all. I'm going to turn this off immediately. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really looked at any of the trades. Yeah, let's have a gander and see what we can do. Ooh, protection 4. That's actually a good one. In all of that, I've got 1 good trade. Do I even need protection 4? No, but I guess it's good to have for the future. I guess now we have to sort of mess around until we get some good trades. This will be fun. I'd like to officially announce my retirement from villager manipulation, because this was the worst. Let me start off by showing you something over here. As you can see, there is 2 llama boys in the water over here. There was a wandering trader with him, and unfortunately, this very intelligent wandering trader decides to go underneath the house and drown. However, he did give me this. He gave me a little birch sapling, which, you know, well, let me show you what I've got. Now, I didn't get all of them because there's no reason to, but this guy has Fire Aspect 2. We have an Infinity Boy, a Fortune 3 Boy, a Silk Touch Boy, Power 5. We have a Looting 3 Boy. We have an Unbreaking 3, Mending and Flame. I didn't do these guys because I didn't need any more. There's a Sharpness 5 Boy, Efficiency 4, Protection 4, Thorns 3, and Feather Falling 3. So I have a lot of book trades, as you can probably tell right over here. So this is actually really good because it means I can now take probably 1, 2, 3. Start with a sword. Looting 3. Fire aspect. Sharpness. That is about as good as a sword as you'll ever see. So just in case anyone is ever thinking, Haven, you don't have that good of a gear, let me show you this. Sharpness 5, looting 3, mending, fire aspect. The other thing I can get is sweeping edge, and I'm not that bothered about sweeping edge. The shovel, again, I can make it efficiency 5, I don't care. The bow, I do have a flame book, so I could probably put that on there. That's about the best pickaxe I've ever had. The axe is pretty damn good as well. Protection 4, okay, that don't have a breaking 3 either. Protection 4, protection 4, protection 4, all mending, all on breaking 3 except the boost, which I have feather falling for. This is about as good as this gear is ever gonna get. I could spend the rest of these 100 days working on, you know, putting this free over here and fixing these up. I have no interest in doing that because now that I got the birch sapling, I actually want to see if I can add a third island, add birch tree island, and then maybe I'm going to see about killing another wither because I have a beacon over here, I have a beacon in the middle, I'd like a beacon on that side of the island as well. That's my final couple of plans. I'm going to build myself birch tree island, and then I'm going to build myself a final beacon. The only question is, am I going to have enough iron to you know, make a full beacon or not? I mean, I don't think I will. It might be really, really close. Oh, no, never mind. So, onto Birch Tree Island I go. I set out a good outline, grabbed some grass blocks, and started filling it in. I had the island fully made by the end of day 383. I did also make a little bit of an access from the bridge, similar to what I did for Spruce Tree Island. Now, this is definitely the worst tree out of all the islands, but, you know, it's birch, so anyone got a problem with that? No? Cool. I also tried to add flame to my bow, but I did not have 17 levels, unfortunately, and so I wanted to do one last task to get myself a beacon. I had 2 beacons on the island already, but a third one in the other side of the island would actually be really, really helpful. Now, I did already have 1 skull in the skull monument thing, but I decided that I didn't want to touch that. That one can just be left there. I'm going to go get myself 3 fresh skull, and so I returned to the fortress. Now, I didn't really keep track of my days on here, but I believe I started on day 385, and it was by day 391, I believe, was when I got myself the first skull. Other than a mild pigment problem that I had, this was pretty standard with a skeleton murder shabuckle. And by the time I got back, I grabbed all the iron and just started digging out the beacon. I had all the blocks in by day 392. Just need to cover it with a little bit of sand. And after slowly making my way down to the deep slate caves, it was day 394. I mean, I've done this twice already, so I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Feel like it's time we do what we do at the end of all these 100-day schnitzels. Let's do it. I haven't done the map. Scratch that. Scratch that. Let me do the map. All right, take 2. And I'm not gonna lie, I've made a mistake. So what I've done is when I realized that I wanted to get the maps, I accidentally grabbed the maps up here in 200 because I never knocked them in. You'll see that there's stuff there in 200 that shouldn't be there, like the Nether Portal and the House of Loveliness, that kind of thing. Really, really kind of upset by that, but I guess there's not really much I can do about it now. I did look, there is no way to revert the maps back. They are just there now. I realized I also made a mistake with this thing, because you could kind of see this. You see this little guy? Do you remember that little skip that I took, like on it was like the 50-day mark? Yeah. It's there. Now, obviously, I can't go over there and show you exactly what it is, but I can show you right on the 400-day map. I had a little bit of a goof, so I hope the payoff was worth it. But here's the 400-day map board in its entirety. Let's see, we have added Birch Tree Island, which is still growing. There is the new house for the villagers. There's the head for Stevie Boy, the new Nether Portal. Honestly, there wasn't too much that I added for build. Oh, of course, the giant thing. Let's go on a bit of a tour. Let's start with the village trader hall. Pretty satisfied with it, I must say. I do have a couple of villagers spare if I ever need any other enchantment, but to be honest with you, looking at this, maybe Sweeping's Edge. much, that's about it. That's pretty much all that I'll need. You know, Spruce Island still looks nice. Cherry Tree Blossom still looks nice. I still don't know how that block got up there, because that block was not there originally. I don't know. Here's Birch Tree Island. I personally like that it looks terrible, because it's Birch Tree wood. And there's probably someone in the comments being Haven, but Birch Tree's the best. Obviously, we made the changes to our house, which it wasn't much of a change, but I kind of like it. I think the house now looks better. All of this is the same. Now, I'm not going to go up there. I'm really not, because it does genuinely take a good 4 minutes to get up there, roughly. But just know that it's very funny that I spent all the time building this, watching tutorials, faffing around, actually trying to, you know, get this to get a trident, and then I get a trident within 30 seconds of me actually trying to get one from it, which is just, it just sums it up perfectly. It just sums up my, I don't want to say my luck, because that would make it sound like I'm unlucky here, but I just think it's very funny, very funny that, of course, I get one basically instantly. The cactus farm, again, I could probably make it much more efficient, but I don't really need any cacti that much, so this is a short thing that it doesn't really matter. I mean, they can get stuck there. It doesn't matter. I got cactus. That's all that really matters there. And the other two things I built, well, firstly, there's this, which is just, it's supposed to make the nether portal look, you know, more than just a nether portal. It's not that great, but I like it. I like what it's supposed to be. I guess I could maybe add like a little lava pool around here or something, make it look better. And then the Steve house, which, now I can't, unfortunately, the best thing to use is probably like clay or stained clay, and I could technically do that, but I don't know. I can't, you know what it's supposed to be, just a very poor rendition of Steve. And this is where I spent most of my time in this world, getting you guys. Already had you two, but this is the first ever time I've got a piglin head. In fact, it's probably the first ever time I've collected all the skulls in Minecraft. So, you know, I quite like it. I quite like it. It's basic. It's not meant to be much, but for what it is, I quite like it. And well, if they ever add more skulls, then I'll have to faff around trying to make more space. Maybe I can make a second layer or something. But yeah. You know what? I'm pretty happy with it. And if I'm correct, that is everything. I even left my armor in here, which is adorable. This 100 days... Oh, yeah, there's also the paths, which I made look better. The other thing I didn't touch was this, but I honestly don't want to touch this. It's just supposed to be the basic thing that it is, and I quite like it. Oh, there's also the beacon, which is accidentally nearly covered by the trees. Might have to change that in a little bit. But we stand here on 400 days with, you know... It was more about the builds themselves weren't necessarily massive, but they required a lot of work. Like, again, the skulls was such a big feat. Making that abomination was such a big feat. The book trades was such a big feat that each individual thing took so long. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm really satisfied with what I've got done. Now then, the question that most of you have probably been waiting for, is 500 days going to happen? When's 500 days going to happen? And the simple answer is... I want to do 500 days. You know what? I want to do 1,000 days. As I said at the end of the last video, if I get to 5k likes on 300 days, 5k likes on 400 days, and 5k likes on 500 days, I'll do that. I'm kind of confident that no matter what the situation is, I will do 500 and 1,000. Just give me a minute, because literally the last video, people, like, the video was out for 2 hours, and people were like, okay, where's 400 days? Guys, I can't play 100 days of Minecraft in 2 minutes. It takes over 20 hours for this. I appreciate the support, but give me a chance, please. But yeah, I think that's about everything. Maybe give me some ideas on what I could build. Maybe, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do. That looks really good, by the way. That looks really good. Right then, I will see you on day 400, because we have a tradition for 400. Yeah, day 400. We did it. We did it, boys. This is probably the only ever time I'll make it to 400 in Skyblock. This is the second ever time I've ever made a series that's gone all the way to 400, so seriously, before I do this, I would like to thank you. Every step of the way has been fantastic, and you know what? If I do hopefully get to 1,000 days, which would definitely be the final episode of this world, it's been an honor. That being said, I'm gonna dance with the next step. Woo! Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.